us to take this forward. Everybody still hear me okay? I get interrupted today with a message saying recording in progress, so just making sure that it didn't block me out, you can still hear me. I was just saying how important it is to our staff team and our board of directors, as it's our job to be your advocate. So today's another opportunity for us to update you on our work and hear what's important to you, to allow us to take this forward in the engagements we have and in the conversations that we have with other organisations and other people. Today also gives us the opportunity to say thanks. So please bear with me for the final time as your convener and allow me to thank you for engaging with us and allow us to be your voice, to be your advocate as we strive to improve accessibility for all. So can I thank our members for your unwavering support, thank our access panels for your dedication and the commitment and many, many hours you spend fighting the good fight to improve your local neighbourhoods. And thanks to our staff team and to my board of directors for all the hard work and the selfless contributions to make sure our members' voices are heard and that these voices inform and drive change. Thanks also for your contributions to make sure that Disability Equality Scotland is stable and it's sustainable and it's there for our staff team and there for our members. This year's a little bit different for me. I'm in my final year in my second term, and as such we commenced our succession planning. The board have co-opted my successor, Kayla Megan Burns, and I hope that when it comes to the elections of co-opted directors, that you will support Kayla and Marie Harrower and give them your vote. Kayla and Marie complement the existing board skill set perfectly, and both have been a great asset to Disability Equality Scotland and to our members. You'll see from the knowledge and skills they bring to the organisation from the biographies, and their value has certainly been evident in our board meetings and through the contributions since joining our team. The coming year will see me work more closely with Kayla as part of the handover and succession planning. I have absolutely no doubt that Kayla and me will bring innovation, energy and vision to our board. And I look forward to working with a refreshed board and new staff team members until the end of my second term. So please lend us your vote when it comes to resolutions 5 and 6 in the election of co-opted directors. And in that note, I'll hand you over to Kayla for a couple of minutes before we hand back to Morven.
Linda, I actually can't thank you enough for such a kind introduction. As Linda said, I'm Kayla Burns, and pending your vote, I will be taking Linda's place as convener of the board. Linda has left me with enormous boots to fill. She has been an absolute credit to Des and all of our members, and I suppose ourselves as disabled people as well over the past few years. So definitely I couldn't be grateful to be learning from her and spending the time with her that I have already and hopefully in the future, so that I'm able to learn and hopefully serve you as our membership as best as possible over the next few years. To give you a bit of a background on me, I am a disabled person myself with having IBD and autism, and I've also been on 2 previous boards before at Strathclyde University and Strathclyde Students' Union, and I held the position of chair on the latter. I'm an activist at heart, advocating for a range of climate and social justice issues on various international, local, national platforms, on a real range of issues from disability to climate justice, gender equality, you name it. That's really what feels like home for me, advocating for those issues, being an amplifier, bringing my own voice to the table as well. And it's a real honor for me to be able to bring so many of those really important issues to the table throughout my work. On top of all this, I'm also a biomedical science student and run my own music and podcast production business called Songplastic. And throughout all of this, I've definitely gained lots of skills and experience that I really hope to utilise as best as possible to serve you and Des as an organisation. It's been a real pleasure getting to know Des over the past few months, the staff, the board members, and everything that it does as an organisation. And I really can't wait to see the future that we're able to forge together for Des, ourselves as members and disabled people. Although we're currently in quite a period of change, and it's not what I expected whenever I joined the organisation, I see this as a really fantastic opportunity for us to grow and further develop as an organisation, to bring on some great new things, and of course to forge them through you and all of your input as well. So I'm hoping to become a very open, transparent convener of the organisation. And so I can't wait to hear from you, to learn with you, and to build a future together. So thank you all for having me here today. This is my first AGM and I'm really, really grateful to be here. And welcome to the Disability Equality Scotland AGM for 2022.
Thank you so much, Linda and Kayla. Before I move on to the next agenda item for the approval of the AGM minutes, I can confirm that we do have 15 members present today. So that's between online and in the room. So I would like to open this AGM and welcome our members. I'd also like to confirm that we do have more than 15 voting members present at this general meeting, and it is quoted. So moving on to the next agenda item, the approval of the AGM minutes on the 25th of August 2021. So all delegates today, online and in person, have all received a copy of our draft minutes from the AGM on the 25th of August 2021. So with the SurveyMonkey link that you have received in advance of today, if I can ask you to open this up, and for those in the room, you should have a voting form in front of you. If we can now look at resolution 1, I'd like members, voting members, so if you know that you're a voting member and have received the SurveyMonkey link in advance of today, if you can go to resolution 1, and I ask you to agree the minutes from the AGM held on the 25th of August 2021, please select agree, disagree, or withheld. Once you've done this, if I can also ask for a proposer and a seconder for these minutes. If you can raise your hand in the chat room if you were present at the last AGM. Don't be shy. Dorothy and Scott Stewart. So proposed by Dorothy McKinney and seconded by Scott Stewart. Thank you. I'd now like to move on to the next agenda item, the presentation of the annual report from the 1st of April 2021 to the 31st of March 2022. It really does give me great pleasure to go through this year's or last year's annual report. We've celebrated so much during this time and our achievements have been absolutely tremendous. Again, it's been a very successful year for Disability Equality Scotland. Again, with the constant changes and the pressures of the third sector relating to COVID, they will have an impact. But the organisation has managed to deal with these pressures, and I believe effectively. We've continued to use what we hear to advocate for and enable change to improve people's lives, which makes your role as a member vital and important to the work that we do. Some of the things that we have achieved during this year, we've increased our membership by 9%, bringing our membership to over 1,400 members across Scotland. Over the last year, we have published our monthly newsletter. And again, that's been a key channel for distributing key public health messages and information to our members, especially about the easing of COVID messages and restrictions. We continue to administer the face covering exemption card with the Scottish Government. And for the reporting year, the 1st of April 21 to 31st of March 22, we have supplied over 47,500 physical exemption cards and over 24,000 digital versions. And in September 21, we introduced a digital download version in line with the demand. And during that period, we distributed 45,500 cards were downloaded. And during this period, we continue to engage with disabled people and disability organisations through our webinars. Throughout this period, we delivered 8 disability webinars across the following topics: journey planning, access to public appointments, independent living fund, return to public transport, disability hate crime, COVID-19 recovery bill, and assistance cards and transport staff training. Okay. We've continued to advocate for the adoption of the principles of inclusive communications through the Inclusive Communication Hub. And in this reporting period, we've also seen a steady growth in our EasyRead service, which during this period, we completed 93 EasyRead projects for key partners, including the COVID-19 self-isolation bill consultation and Transport Scotland's annual delivery plan. And we've also seen an increase in repeat clients coming back to us. We would like to take this opportunity to thank Garfield Weston Foundation for the funding received to develop our EasyRead training course during this time. Since the launch of the course, it's been well received across organisations wishing to make their communications accessible for all. The overall aim of the EasyRead training course is to help professionals produce best practice and EasyRead information that works for their audience. The training course is now available through us at cost and proven to be very successful. We've continued to gather the views from our members on 48 topical weekly poll questions during this reporting period. And weekly polls have received praise and recognition from key stakeholders and contributed to developing legislation, service improvement, consultations, equality impact assessments, and influenced policy and guidance relating to COVID recovery. We have also taken the opportunity to raise the importance of our members' views from weekly polls as evidence in Scottish Parliament committees, cross-party groups, and in parliamentary questions. To assist with promotion and to raise awareness of disability hate crime, we've worked closely with Police Scotland to host a webinar during National Hate Crime Week in October 21, and this was an opportunity to generate content for the Disability Safety Hub and to provide an update on the Hate Crime Charter. The Accessible Travel Hub has continued to receive positive levels of engagement, which has been achieved through ongoing updates from transport providers on the measures they have introduced to make transport more accessible and safer for disabled people. Members of Transport Scotland's Accessible Travel Framework Steering Group also provide content for the hub to promote shared learning. We have continued to deliver transport events via online webinars, and during this year we hosted 4 webinar events relating to transport, which resulted in engagement with 175 people, including disabled people, transport providers, local authorities and equality groups about their experiences of accessible travel. We've also worked with our partners Transport Scotland, Police Scotland, British Transport Police, Sestrans, People First Scotland to launch the National Hate Crime Charter, which was on the 24th of March 21. And the Hate Crime Charter reached over 100,000. Yeah, 100,000, sorry, I was trying to read the figure there, 100,000 people in an 8-week period. And 15 partners signed up to pledge their support to the Charter. And this work is currently ongoing, where we are still seeking support for the Hate Crime Charter from transport providers. And we're currently working on a relaunch of the Hate Crime Charter in October this year during Hate Crime Awareness Week. And most importantly, we have continued to support the current active access panels which operate across Scotland. Access panels have told us that they have continued to ensure that accessibility remains at the forefront of people's minds. And despite lockdowns and remote working, we have seen an increase in access panels, with 4 new access panels joining the network, an increase in the representation for disabled people's voices to be heard. We remain aware of the fact that public transport still isn't accessible for disabled people, and we will work with access panels to make sure that remote working isn't used as a substitute for poorly accessible transport infrastructure. Our staff team have continued to work effectively and efficiently from home and in the office in line with government guidelines. This last year, our operational outcomes continue to align with our growing strategic aspirations, and our success is down to the commitment, talents and diversity of our staff. That is why we value and develop our employees to succeed in their careers as well as contribute to our success. Again, we all know that we're still living in a very uncertain world at this moment, and there are some things that Disability Equality Scotland can rely on though, and that's you, our members, and access panels, who continue to champion access, inclusion and equality for all. Before I move on to the next agenda, I just want to say that we have a member survey this year that we launch at every annual general meeting. And again, it's more important than ever that we hear from you, our members, on what we are doing right and what improvements we can make for your membership. So I'd now like to move on to the next resolution in the SurveyMonkey and in the voting form that you have in front of you. If I can ask members to vote on resolution 2 to receive the report of the trustees and audited accounts for the year ended 31st of March 2022. Please select agree, disagree or withheld. Thank you. I'll now move on to the presentation of accounts. Unfortunately, we did receive apologies from our Treasurer, Colin Miller, today, so I will continue to present the accounts today. So financial performance in the year to 31st of March 2022 has exceeded trustees' forecasts and expectations. There is an increase of income over expenditure of 67,112 for the year, compared to 30,983 in the year to 31st of March 21. This is a tremendous achievement to, I'll say, myself and the staff team for obviously managing these budgets effectively, and mainly due to the success of our EasyRead service and the training that we've developed this year. The year ended with a balance of 148,170 compared to £80,058 for the same date last year. Income receipts for the year totalled 395,304, an increase from the previous year due to successful funding received from Garfield Weston to develop our EasyRead training course. The organisation's income is generally healthy, and there has been a significant improvement with previous performance. Expenditure for the year totalled 328,192, well within budget, well within the budgets of funding received. The general fund is unrestricted and is used for the day-to-day operation of the organisation. The Equality Unit, Section 10, the Access Panel Grant and Transport Scotland Restricted Fund was closed on the 31st of March 2022, and we reported in our annual report and accounts of that date. The organisation operates with an unrestricted reserve at a level set by the trustees. For this reporting period, from the 1st of April 21 to the 31st of March 22, this level was at £88,053, which equates to approximately 3 months running costs. The reserve is held to allow the organisation to offset fluctuations in income receipts and to provide for contingencies. We are currently on track in building our reserves to cover 6 months operating costs. We will continue to increase our fundraising activities and income opportunities to deliver on this. I do feel it's prudent in this current economic climate, maintaining a substantial Reserve will better allow the organisation to meet the funding challenges which the wider economic situation may impose. We also note that securing external funding is becoming increasingly difficult as sponsors and grant-making bodies are forced to address their own funding issues. We are also mindful that the long-term future of the organisation is difficult to guarantee, and that we must be prepared to seek alternative accommodation, possibly at short notice, should our current venue cease to be available or too expensive. These accounts are approved and adopted by the Board of Directors on the 29th of July 2022. I'll now move on to the next agenda item on review of fees and subscriptions payable by members. The fees and subscriptions will remain unchanged for the following year. Currently, members pay £0 to be a member with Disability Equality Scotland, and this will be unchanged. So please can I ask voting members through your SurveyMonkey link to go to Resolution 3 to approve fees and subscriptions payable by members, no change. Please select agree, disagree or withheld. Okay, I'll move on to the next agenda item, delegation to the board, the reappointment of independent examiners. The board have approved a decision to change of independent examiners for the following year to the year ended 31st of March 2023. Community Accountancy Scotland will cease to trade this year, who have been our independent examiner for the last few years. An individual named Anne Knox has been undertaking our independent examination through Community Accountancy Scotland and has agreed to continue this for our organisation. To ensure consistency, we are appointing Anne Knox to be our independent examiner. Please can I ask voting members to vote now on Resolution 4 in your SurveyMonkey link and also in your voting form to delegate to the board the reappointment of independent examiner Anne Knox. Please select agree, disagree or withheld. At this point in the agenda, I seem to have zoomed through all the agenda items, so we're only at 1:30. So I would like to suggest that I move on to the election of board directors and we can stop for a short comfort break after this point. So please, again, the voting process will continue as it has been through your SurveyMonkey link and on your voting form in front of you. Please can I ask voting members to now vote on Resolution 5 to elect as a director of the company Kayla Megan Burns, who was co-opted on the 29th of March 2021. Please select agree, disagree or withheld. If we can now move on to Resolution 6 to elect as a director of the company Mary Harrower, co-opted on the 29th of March 21. Please select agree, disagree or withheld. Before we stop for a quick comfort break there, I can confirm we have received 6 proxy votes in advance of today's meeting. And if you are on SurveyMonkey, if you can now click on submit, we will now collate the voting forms in the room and the votes received online, and we will now go for a 10-minute comfort break. So if we can come back at 1:45. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you often.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for your patience while we collated all the results. Before I do get into the results, it has come to my attention that there seems to be an issue with the joining link for today's Zoom meeting. Some members were able to join and some members weren't able to join. We have recorded this event, so this will be shared with all our membership. And I do welcome obviously any feedback or questions from members on this. Again, we do try to make these events as inclusive and as accessible as possible. But I think there's just been a wee glitch with the Zoom link, where some people have been able to join and some people haven't. But we are quorate today, and I can now announce the results of the voting, that we have received 50% of the votes received today have favoured for Kayla Megan Burns to be elected as a director with Disability Equality Scotland. And we have received 50% of votes and more for Mary Harrower to be elected as a director with Disability Equality Scotland. So congratulations to both. Okay, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is members' questions. And again, I'd like to open out questions to everybody online and to people in the room. We haven't received any questions online yet, so don't be shy. Linda, hi.
It's not so much a question, Morven, it was just to see for the members that haven't been able to join, is there any way of just taking 5 minutes to see if they can join for this open session?
Yeah.
To see
I should have added,
there's a way
yes. During the break, we have emailed the link out to all those who registered, again, with the same link that was sent previously. We have also looked into the actual Zoom settings and invited individuals that way as well. Again, there's a bit of a misnomer here in the sense of some people have been able to get in and some people haven't. We will obviously investigate this further after today's event, because this hasn't genuinely not happened to us before. And it is important that we obviously are accessible as much as possible for all members to attend our events, especially being our first hybrid event. So yes, we will investigate this further.
And just my last wee question, from an online point of view, I was just wondering if it's open discussion in the room, is it possible to take the screen share off so that I can see my colleagues that are online a bit better than just thumbnails in the corner just now?
Absolutely, yeah, if everybody's in agreement with that. If there's no if there's any objections, please say so now, yeah. So just a reminder, this is your membership. Again, the whole purpose of members' questions is for you to obviously ask us anything, tell us what's important to you, what do you think we should be focused on in this next period ahead. Again, many of our members will have come across that there's been a number of staff changes internally. Maybe you've got questions on how this will work going forward. Right, okay, thanks, Lucy. So it looks like there wasn't a password and a code. Again, the link seemed to work without it as well. So again, that's something for us to take on board going forward, but I appreciate that, Lucy, thank you. So, anybody get any questions? Okay, what we'll do is we can move on. Again, I will introduce each of the directors who are here today, and maybe that'll just spur on some questions as I kind of move on. So we do have a present here today, Linda Bamford, and Linda was appointed as a director on the 14th of November 2016, and as she said in our introduction, she is now in her second term. And Dorothy McKinney was appointed as director on the 20th of March 2017 and is also now in her second term. Colin Miller, our treasurer, unfortunately is not here today, and he was appointed on the 4th of May 2018. And we have Maureen Morrison here today, again appointed on the 4th of December 2017. Scott Stewart, who is present here in the room today, he was appointed on the 5th of December 2017. And we have Caroline Wilson-Smith online, who was appointed on the 4th of May 2018. We're also joined by Kenny Milne online, who was appointed on the 17th of May 2018. And we're also joined by Lauren Asher, who was appointed on the 25th of August 21. Leanne Forrest unfortunately had to submit her apologies today, and she was appointed on the 25th of August 21. And we're also joined by Kayla Megan Burns and Mary Harrower, who've both been appointed today. Okay, I have had a request from someone to ask me to stop sharing my screen, so I will do that. That's not a problem. So bear with me for 2 seconds. I do believe we have someone with her hand up. So,
yeah, it was Sarah Carrick.
hi Sarah, how can I help?
Hi there. I had a bad, took me over 35 minutes to join, and I had to eventually phone the office and get another link. So obviously this is my first conference, and I'm at a bit of a loss actually. So
No, thank you, Sarah. No, we completely appreciate that. During the comfort break, it came to my attention that there were some members who could access the Zoom link today, and there were some members who couldn't access the Zoom link. It looks like the full details weren't supplied with the link, and I can only apologise for that not happening before now. There is a recording of this AGM. Again, I do welcome all questions and comments, and will answer as many as possible, as much as possible. Again, I can only apologise for that hiccup today. Does anybody else have any questions that they would even like to address to any of our directors present today? Sorry. You're also shy today. What's going on?
I think Marie's trying to speak there, but I think she's on mute.
Oh, Mary, you're on mute. Okay, we'll come back to you, Mary, once you've maybe been able to unmute yourself. I will move on. If there's no questions or comments, again, please email us anytime. We do take on any lessons learned from all our events that we run, and I think it's very, very unfortunate. I can only apologise for the difficulties in joining this meeting today. Again, we will learn from this and we'll take that forward. Again, you can always email me direct at morven@disabilityequality.scot if you have any questions or concerns or about anything. I'll be more than happy to arrange a call direct and have a discussion. So we are launching our members survey today, and again, it's a perfect opportunity for you as well to tell us how we can make improvements. And of course, by providing all Zoom link details would be a help to that. So yeah, please tell us how we can make those improvements. Again, I'd just like to thank you all for making the effort to come along today. I realise that's been difficult. Before I do close today's AGM, I would like to thank you all for your support and dedication to Disability Equality Scotland. As many of you will know by now, this is my last AGM as CEO with Disability Equality Scotland. And sadly, I would have liked to have gone a lot more perfectly today and making sure we had a lot more people in attendance. And that wouldn't have been the way that I would have liked to have ended today. I am moving on to Voluntary Action Orkney. I've been living there for the past 4 years, and I've been given a wonderful opportunity to work locally, and I'm truly grateful for that, and equally grateful for the opportunity to have worked with you all for the last 10 years of my time with Disability Equality Scotland. Again, you truly have all been an inspiration and a support along the way as well, not just for me personally, but to our staff team and our directors. So again, this is your opportunity to have your voice as a member. Use the member survey to do that. Contact me direct. I will be with the organisation until the 7th of October. So you have until then to get in touch with me, and then you will be introduced to your new CEO once that person has been appointed. So allow me to close this meeting today. I'd like to wish you all well. We have provided feedback forms. I can imagine what those feedback forms will be like, unfortunately. So please fill them out. Tell us how we can make improvements. And again, just wish you all well, and thank you and goodbye for today. Thanks now.
Many thanks, Morven. Good luck.